Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a weekly news and review for January 31st, 2021, and we've got quite a few reveals this week. We've got a lot of updates on old projects, and we've got Fan First Friday, so there's quite a bit of information floating around. We got to talk about all of this coming up. First off, what's up at Show Z right now is the lemon tree version of their Shockwave, and they call this the Purple Potato for $128, and it's supposed to have a bit of heft behind it, a big 8.66 inch figure. I think it looks good. I've got it on the way. I plan to review it. I plan to put it next to my Unicron section of my display. Looks kind of good. Shozy also has their Magic Square Intelligence Officer. This is the Bumblebee. It's in stock. I think it looks great. And I'm only negative on one thing. I think Magic Square is going to have a repaint, a better painted version in about 2 or 3 months. But I've got this coming on the way anyway. I think it's that good. And I think it actually beats New Age. So yes, we've got our first chest upgrade from McRapThrone on Twitter, and this is a complete custom, homegrown, done by himself version of an RC chest upgrade. Now you notice that the original has the white peg on the left, and the right has a pink peg that pegs into it, but it looks pretty darn good in my opinion. And here it is from another angle. I think that this is the first of many of the chest upgrades we're going to see. Now, I don't think he sells them. I think he's just showing off his talent and what is to come in the fandom. I really like this. I think it looks really good. And again, this is one of the problems with Masterpiece RC. This and the backpack. Really, aside from that, it's perfect. But looking at it, it looks really good. I like the way this looks. In fact, it's not perfect, but it's better than what we got, and it still transforms. And again, not perfect in the alt mode, but it still works. It still works well, and I like this kind of stuff. Okay, so we have seen Fans Toy Smokey drop. We have seen groups lose their mind over how great Fans Toy Smokey is. I don't have it yet, but I do have the DX9 version, and there is now a debate which one is better. DX9 appears to be taller. DX9 appears to have more differentiation in the paint apps, and Fans Toys, of course, will have more die-cast metal and more heft and more weight behind it. So, which one will win? I'll let you know when I get them both. It seems like these days X-Transbots is kind of stealing the limelight. They have their lock figure, their cop figure, the alt mode, and the alt mode colors. It looks fantastic. It looks great. Here it is on a scale, I don't know what, 333 grams. It's still big, hefty, and it looks really good. So X-Transbots Virtus. I've been looking forward to this thing coming out for 2 years now. I think it's going to be the best. I think it's going to look great. But a lot of people said, wait, the fist, the legs, the thighs, and the face are too yellow. So X-Transbots comes out and says, we're going to make the new face with a new Pantone. This is the new color of the face, and they corrected it straight up. I like that. I like how a company listens to the fans and gives us what we want. And here we are with another piece here. They also jumped on the colors of green. They're going to go darker in the green than they did before. And it looks more tune accurate theoretically. But I have faith and belief that this thing's still going to be the best. They're putting a lot of work into it. We got a couple months to go till we see this guy. Looking into some Legends news, we have the McFans Toys or Mechanic Studio version of their Wreck-Gar recyclers. Now, I haven't seen a Wreck-Gar in the Legends scale yet, so this is quite impressive. I think it looks really good. It fits the character and the mold and the scale very well. I like the way everything seems to work out. And then in the alt mode looks good. And this is one that you might want to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same figure. McFans Toys also is announcing their Flywheel as well. It's actually coming in stock. And this is the actual figure, not just the prototype or the render we saw. And I think it looks really good. In fact, I recently started messing around with my Masterpiece one, and I think this might beat it in every way. I think it looks good. They're repainting it to red. They're calling it something else, but at the same time, you can get either one, both of these, Show Z, TF Source, all the other places you go to, and they include a boombox. The alt mode looks fantastic. This looks like a really fun figure, an excellent tracks figure. And I really think that we're going to see more of this character coming up in the actual Masterpiece line. But Takara's was okay, had a couple of issues, and a lot of people really hated it. We'll see how this comes out when it comes out. Magic Square's putting out more pictures of their Bumblebee next to, oddly enough, the Hasbro Core Optimus Prime. I'm going to tell you, the Bumblebee looks really good. The Core Optimus Prime does not. Well, you're talking triple the price for Bumblebee than the Optimus Prime. So it's not a fair comparison at all whatsoever. But anyway, there is how it scales with Core Class. New Age is absolutely killing it with this Galvatron. I'm shocked Magic Square has not put out their Galatron yet. Maybe this will slide by without the giant competition between the two. But I ordered the DX version, the extra painted version, because I like the extra paint. I like shiny things. But this looks really good, and I like how pretty much everything they did with it works. Now, I don't know if this would upscale to Masterpiece and translate as well as it does when it's smaller, but I still think it looks really good. Here he is. I guess he comes with a matrix and a matrix on a chain. It looks great. Here it is with the packaging and the extra hands, pointing hands, splayed hands, and all the parts and pieces, and the card. This is what you're going to get if you buy this guy. For those of you like me that are interested in some GoBots, they do have the Action Toys Machine Robo version of the Buggy Robo here. And of course, this is going to be the smaller one. This isn't going to be the DX like the ones that I wish they would carry on with that line a little bit more. And so for 45 bucks, this is what you're going to get with this guy right here. And he's going to come with this alt mode. So I think the alt mode looks good too. Again, I wished it was bigger. I wish it was with the other one, but I guess I'm kind of glad they're still carrying this line on. So the fact that they're still working with it, maybe there's some hope for an improved Masterpiece version of this. I feel like this is just like a step up from the original from back in the day. Not quite a Masterpiece, but again, I'm glad they're making it. So we have Kingdom Inferno from Tone 7. Here we are with some pictures of Inferno. We all have Grapple, or have seen Grapple on a shelf, or have seen Grapple on clearance for 17 bucks. And here we are with Inferno at the full $30 price point. And we all know Inferno is the main piece, the main game. Grapple was a secondary version, and now we get Inferno. And I think it looks good. I think Grapple was a great figure, and so Inferno ultimately has to be a great figure. In the whole grand scheme of things, this is kind of going back to Hasbro's roots, where they release the secondary character first, and you get the primary character of that mold second. And they're doing it well, and they made a few slight modifications. This figure here, this is how he scales with some of the other characters that are out there. And again, it's Voyager. It's big. It's still not perfect. It still has some of the waffling and gaps, but it looks good. And in alt mode, it does look good here too. They've altered that whole crane to turn into a ladder, a firefighter ladder, and add some shooting mechanisms, some spouts to it, a fire hose on the side. They did a few different things. So here he is in the packaging. I assume he's going to be Voyager next to the Dinobot Voyager. So it's kind of like this. We're wanting to take 1 foot out of G1 and 1 foot into Beast Wars and see how it goes. My experience is all the G1 stuff sells right away. Beast Wars is still readily available on the shelf. That might be an indicator. HasLab Unicron is going to be shipping theoretically on February 1st. That might mean February 5th or 6th or 7th or 10th or whatever. We might get this guy. Now, personally, I'm a little bit worried about getting this guy because it might be a lot of work for me. The transformation does not look fun. It looks to be a really long video, but at the end of the day, I think this will be the best in planet mode, and that's how I'm gonna keep it. But I gotta flip it around one way and then back to do a video. So it looks like they've got quite a few. Doesn't look like the thousands, 13,000. I don't remember how many it was, but it looks like they got quite a few here ready to go out. So looking at the main line a little bit deeper, I see these headmasters showing up in Oklahoma, and I got a couple. I didn't buy them all. I held back because I have a feeling that some of them won't sell. Like this one here, the Hardhead and the Mind Wipe. I think those will be the easy ones to get. I really think the Brainstorm, since it was previously an exclusive, and the Chrome Dome, because it just seems to be the harder one to get, will be the ones to chase after. So the big news this week is that Super 7 Transformers Ultimates is coming out with 7-inch figures, and they're non-transformable figures, kind of like the Reaction line, and I don't know. I thought they'd look a little bit more like they walked off the screen. I don't think they're horrible, but I think they still could have been better. It's just kind of interesting the route they went. Some people are telling me they're like the Action Masters of back in the day. They do come with a ton of accessories, but a $55 price point, 7-inch figure, and this is what the Optimus Prime looks like. And then we also have the in the package look right there, and again, I'm still not sure. I mean, if it doesn't transform, I would expect closer to perfection than this. Doesn't look horrible. Again, not terrible, but not as good as I thought they'd look. I know the Ultimates line looks almost perfect, walk off the screen perfect, with every other franchise. Here we are with this guy. I think they're calling this Banzai Tron. Banzai. I don't know. I said it wrong. Anyway, there it is. Comes with a ton of accessories. Here he comes in the box, and there he is. I don't know much about this. It does look kind of interesting, but how accurate is that? And here we are with the Bombshell. Of course, we all know about this Insecticon here, and not bad looking, not horrible looking, but again, it's kind of strange how they picked their character choices in this line. And go Starscream. And there we go. I was sitting there trying to look, and is this exactly like the Reaction, except blown up to 7 inches? So I don't know, but still kind of curious how they decided the designs, how they decided how they're going about this. So we got pictures of Starscream in the core class. That's a $10 price point versus $30 version right here. And I actually think he looks kind of clean considering how small he is and how itty bitty tiny he is. Again, we're getting back to making them in different scales. I actually prefer all of them scaling together well. But to get a $30 price point on a Starscream and a $10 price point, this is kind of how they went. So looking at it, not bad at all considering the size. Here he is next to some of the other core class options, and well, that's the Bumblebee's not actually considered core, but I guess you can consider it core class. And there he is next to the Optimus Prime. And then here's a couple of other options here with an interesting looking Sharkticon, and of course Rat Trap. We also have got him with the alt mode, and the alt mode is actually pretty clean considering its size. Again, a cheaper option and a smaller option. Sliding into some non-Transformers news, it is kind of strange here. Super 7 is picking up so many more licenses. They already did have this, the Thundercats, and now they're making a Thunder Tank. The Thunder Tank is going to be absolutely huge. You really don't see massive, big, gigantic vehicles from any of these companies that do the 6-inch figures. And here we go. They're going all in on a Thunder Tank. That is going to be outstanding. If they really go through with making this, won't this be amazing? Look how big that's going to be. I almost thought this was a prank at first when I saw it, just how big it is. But I don't have pricing information, release date information yet. I just have this picture, and I think it looks amazing. We did reveal last week that Super 7 is going to be picking up a ton of other lines. Superbox is going to be one of them, and this week they're really not starting out showing any toys or figures or anything, which they say they will soon, but they are going to show us some other stuff. They're selling a glass for $12, so kind of like an homage to the old Burger King kind of glasses that you had back in the day. Don't know if that's as exciting as a toy or not. They're selling this pennant as if it's going for your sports team or something for $20, which again, show me the toys, right? And a $30 t-shirt, logo t-shirt. Although I do like the logo, it does look good. And it comes in a couple different colors and a couple different logos. Again, I'm curious about the figures. When they start making the figures, will they be back metalized? Of course, it was discussed that that is part of the reason that they were successful back in the day is the back metalized process. So I know Super 7 understands that is important to this line and why people like them. So to not back metalize them would probably be a bad thing. Getting into some Star Wars news, and there is a plenty of Star Wars news this week. First of all, we're going to get these 50 Lucasfilm commemorative type of Kenner-styled, Kenner-colored figures, starting with Greedo on this card back here. This is a pretty interesting take. They've already made the figure before in the past. Now this is just looking more like the original Kenner figure. And it's going to be an Amazon exclusive, I believe. I believe this Amazon. I know Amazon exclusives are easy yet hard to get. If you're up there to order right away, they're pretty simple to get. I have had some of my pre-orders get canceled on me though through Amazon. Next up we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi with a vinyl cape. Well, it's kind of interesting how they're going. They're trying to make it look like a Kenner original, and I kind of like this. It's just so different. Haven't seen it in the Black Series line. I know Black Series is here to look perfect, perfection. They use a lot of soft goods, but this is a much different route, and I don't know, this is going to be like the 5th time they've reissued this guy. Then there's also the Jawa, and others like talk about, well, why didn't Jawa get a vinyl cape? Because I think more Jawas were produced back in the original era with the soft goods than with the vinyl cape, so that's why they went that route, I'm guessing. But again, here's this guy here. It does look pretty interesting. I kind of like the card back to it, and the soft goods are okay. So here we go with the Black Series Bad Batch figure. This one here is Crosshair. Here he is in the packaging. I think there's 5. They're eventually going to make them all, of course. And I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of a different take on the clones. I think, was it 1 episode they were in or something along those lines? Or maybe they're in a couple, I don't even remember. But it definitely, when I saw them on the show, I knew they were going to make these figures. Here is the Elite Squad Trooper, and they're They're connecting that with the Bad Batch also, and it looks pretty good. I've seen this mold before. It's just kind of a repaint. And here we are with Hunter, another one of the Bad Batch, which again is a take on the clones that didn't take. A take on the clones that didn't take. But here we go. I think it looks pretty good. Next up, we got the battle droid in the episode 1 packaging. Now, previously this was like a con exclusive that they did this with the, was it a Darth Maul and an Obi-Wan in this type of packaging. Now they're doing this with the battle droid and a few others. And it says pre-order available at Best Buy. So I'm starting to wonder, is that going to be a Best Buy exclusive? So got to look more into that with all of these. Also, we're going to get a Jar Jar Binks. Now, Jar Jar Binks is right now populating almost every single toy aisle as the only Star Wars figure available in the $30 price range. So I guess this one will be a little bit cheaper, and you're not getting as many accessories. He's not going to be the deluxe. So if you missed out on what's on the only figure on the shelf right now, you can get them in this packaging. And we've got a Mace Windu, which I think is an awesome figure. I know that he does look really good, and I love that lightsaber, and the packaging is reminiscent of the 1999. And this is Qui-Gon Jinn's been needing a reissue because since he has been absent from shelves for years and years and years, now with the resurgence of the prequels, a lot of people want this guy. I hope it's not truly an exclusive, but if it is, if Best Buy has it as an exclusive, those are the easiest ones to get. Next up in the vintage collection, we're getting the Ahsoka Tano, and I don't think this is the same exact one we had before. I think it's going to be an all-new figure, all-new sculpt, and probably all-new packaging to go along with what I believe is the Season 7 representation of her. So, not bad. Looks good. Looks like Ahsoka. And again, if you don't have one in your vintage collection, now you can get one for $13 instead of $300. Here we go with a different take on Darth Maul, and this is going to be, of course, like a Season 7, I guess, version of Darth Maul. And I think it's cool that they're putting out something a little bit different. I mean, I kind of get sick of them reissuing the exact same things over and over and over. Although, it is kind of frustrating trying to have 6 different versions of the same character. But I think this one is justified, and it's called for, and gotta love that double-bladed lightsaber. Getting into more vintage collection stuff that I'm hearing is going to be the Walmart exclusive. So, yeah, I guess. But Walmart exclusive is pretty easy to get for the most part when it comes to Star Wars. I mean, not ridiculously hard. But anyhow, here we go with the AT-ST driver on a vintage collection card back. And it looks good. Very reminiscent of back in the day. And it does have a removable helmet and looks like an AT-ST driver. One of the things about this, though, is people are probably going to want multiples of these. Put it on your AT-STs. But then again, didn't the AT-ST come packed with one? Here we are with the Pop Blue, and working on more Ewoks, dialing out more Ewoks, working on the Return of the Jedi series, and looks good. Looks good for what he is. Kind of getting back into the, what are you getting out of this itty-bitty figure? Not much, but you're paying the same amount of price, but it is what it is, and you're getting more Ewoks if that's what you want. Here we are with the Princess Leia in the indoor with a removable helmet. I don't know about the head sculpt, though. I think it's a weird head sculpt. It's a bit off. They use the photoreal technology on these figures nowadays, but how photoreal is that? How much justice does this do to her? I gotta see it in person before I make too many assumptions about this, but from this picture, that's the first thing that just kind of snapped on me was, wow, the face. So let me know what you think about this week's weekly news in review. What interesting stuff happened this week that I didn't talk about? What did I miss? I'd really like to know. Like, keep up on things. Like and subscribe. The Hanger out.